Good? Okay. Okay. Good morning. This is Greg Fanbook of Greg's Mind. And I'm going to share with you I'm pretty sure it's going to be the first chapter of the follow-up book to last fall. And it is my favorite chapter, actually, out of everything I've written so far. It's definitely my favorite. So, and the reason I'm doing this is because, like, with the last fall story, I'm kind of worn out with it. Like, it's been so 4 years of just getting into like the fourth draft and going into writing. So thinking it was done when I was at the fourth chapter. I'm not fourth chapter. At the fourth draft, and then having to well, not having to, but so once I was done with the fourth draft, I went on to the second book, which I was very enthusiastically writing about. But through getting a lot of the second book went into a rough draft form, I realized that the first book lacked a story, which I don't know how to explain that. It lacked a story, lacked a coherent story that I wanted to tell. So that's why I kind of had to go back and rewrite and do the fifth draft. So I'm working on the fifth draft with last fall currently. But it's because I got so much into the second book that I realized it lacked a story. So for today, I will be reading and editing the prologue to the next book. But I mean, I say I don't have a name for it. I have a name for it. I'm just not sharing it yet. But so I will bring it up and start doing the usual reading and editing when it is necessary or needed. Because I know there's a bit I want to edit in it. So this is the Birth of a Monster chapter, the prologue to the next book after last fall. Oh, and I did want to say the reason, I probably said this before, but the reason why last fall is going to be so long is because part of it is I need to catch people up to my understanding. Or like share with them my understanding. I don't know if maybe people understand it. I don't know. I don't know what people. I just like the majority of the first half of last fall is all about just getting people to understand how I understand the world and reality. So this is the prologue to the next book in the series after last fall. So after the 300,000 words that last fall is gonna eventually be. So Olivia's perspective. So that's always, I've just had it as names because I thought that would be easy to understand, but I thought it would, whatever. So Morning dawns as dew still kisses the grass, and I open my shutters to reveal my oval garden and all its lovely flowers blooming in full brilliance of this day. I'm still in my long sleeves white gown from the night before, with my chestnut brown hair ruffled from the pillows and sheets. From the pillows and sheets beyond my garden, my parents' garden, before they passed, is the lake of Leningrad. I don't know if I'm going to keep that name for the city, town, village, whatever you want. It's like a village they live in. 1 second. My home house here. My house here. Well, I said it, my home house here within the port. My house here within the port of the same name. I breathe in the fresh air, readying myself for the day's walk, as a knock comes to my side door, one leading to an alleyway, and only one person would bother me this early. I chuckle at the thought as I go to the thick wooden door and pull on the latch, unlocking to reveal my handsome neighbor. His charming violet eyes making my heart skip a beat, and he smiles. Knowing our closeness and what we almost did last night, we both stare down at my belly, only starting to show. He lifts his head back, pushing some of his onyx hair away from his eyes, as looking down causes his unruly hair, which was neatly combed, to fall out of line. I'm sure Todd would have been fine. Or Sally, I joke with him, letting him inside as he heads for my quaint kitchen and begins over the night's meal plates to this and brings over the night's meal plate to the sink to clean, dunking them into the water bucket before bringing them out and grabbing a wash rag, overlooking the same window I had open earlier that overlooks the lake. So the setting is like Renaissance, I want to say. Like it is. They don't have electricity. It's like all candles. It's like it takes place really far back. Okay. So, right, we won't know till the bundle of fun is born if it's a boy or girl. He smiles and I join him. We were up rather late last night before he went home, being the hostel at the inn next door. A stable sits parallel to my garden as I hear a neighing Pegasus inside. You sure he's fine without you? I comment, and as he places his single plate back in the sink and sticks his head out the window, staring at the stables. Calm down, Sod. I'll be right with you, he yells at his personal Pegasus inside. A troublemaker such as he, I laugh at his stubborn friend. Drying his hands as I finish washing my own plate, our lips meet as he stares into my eyes. Careful today, the king is coming into town. He's looking for a wife, he tells me smartly. I don't want him to see you. I have my own work to do, as do you, I tell him, playing along. We both should be getting along now. Right, Odie, I yell his Pegasus name as another annoyed neigh echoes through the stables and into my dim home of wood, thatch, and clay. Do not do this to me. There we go. Slight issues, but we should be back. Yeah. Are we back? There we go. There we go. Okay. Let's see. The windows being the only light from the morning sun as it rises up higher and into the skies. The orange hues fading to the calm of blue skies and small puffs of clouds outside as I wave at Caleb as he leaves through the back door. He hurries backwards, tripping over his own feet before turning and jogging away. We've known each other since childhood. Now that we're older, we've gotten intimate with one another, and I contemplate our lives going forward as I get to walk within my garden, trimming buds and dealing with the numerous pests which try to make the soil their home, while it belongs to only my plants and the earthworms which help churn the dirt. We could have numerous children, we could live here carefree, with not a worry in the world, though the rumors of the king does creep in, this that he and his army have done to all those cities that aren't under his reign. King does creep in. This and that he and his army has done to all those cities that aren't under his reigns. I look up to see Caleb taking Rhodey, a black splattered rum Pegasus, out for a walk. His constant baying until Caleb turns to him always brings a smile to my face. I wonder if he'll be the same when the kid is born. Let's see. A memory replays as I see him as a kid and his own father overlaying the fields beside me. His father was a knight for the Swan Legion, the king's army. His father was very strict with him, yelling at him while he attempted to train the small boy with a wooden sword. This is when I first met him. I saw him from here as a girl myself. I rushed over after his father had hit him hard with his own wooden sword. He holds his arm in tears as tears begin to flood his eyes, and I step in front of him. I giggle now, remembering how mad my parents were that I would interfere, and even Caleb's father was shocked. But he did stop trying to teach him after that day to use swords to fight senseless fights. Let's see. Not sure if that was all my fault or not, but he's been following me like a lost puppy ever since, and I love him dearly for it. Walking through the morning in the backyard, I arise, my apron covered in the soft dirt. With midday arriving, the sun now high, the humidity dry, and hardly any trees lining the cobblestone road which leads into and out of Leningrad. No shade whatsoever to cater to those now gathering in the streets. As I leave my wooden studded home to the balcony and onto the second story, the flowers in back taken care of, I'm sure to watch This folly of a show put on by the king himself as he's in search for a wife. Caleb is right. Not that I thought he was lying about the Swan Legion coming to town. Our king needing an heir, King Grain, has been a bachelor for all of his reign. Long since I was a regal, as they live incredibly long lives compared to us peasants. The lifespan unknown to us, but rumors are that they can live hundreds of years, if not thousands. The rarely seen as well, just as today, a large boxy stagecoach, many lengths long, pulled by half a dozen pure white Pegasuses intermittent, silver linings of integrated designs over the edges, windows and door panels, or on the large and obnoxious contraption which our king loves to use. So it's a stagecoach. I already said that. But many of the king's entourage parade before the stagecoach through our small town. Knights in heavy plate armor, although they look cool, as if the day's heat doesn't affect them. More rumors are of magic which allows them to circumvent such conditions that only the most noble men of knights are allowed to know. Some men walk, while more ride their Pegasus over cobblestone roads. They are pristine and pure white, as if newly fallen snow, akin to those pulling the stagecoach, unburdened by the chainmail drapes of the guarding knights. There are brilliant rings bonded to their bodies, where they wear chainmail sheets and red cloth lining to protect their bodies, as if they expect an attack, which is likely considering the king's reputation. I'm surprised anyone even wants to watch this spectacle. They're clanking on the hard stone roads echoing through the town, as many have come to watch all of them in awe, though I remain resolved, watching from my balcony, looking down on them. I'm a simple herbalist, tending to my flowers, which rest on the balcony's railing, as they need the most sunlight. I sing an amusing song to soothe the plants, which I can tell enjoy my voice, as they perk up ever so slightly. It's as if they have a life of their own, and they understand me, as I understand them. The leaves crawling due to the clanking and noises of the throng of people below, and the Pegasuses that walk through with the heavy knights that ride them, the armor bobbing with each gait, and just as loud. Swords at all their sides, yet I see some maces and other weapons. And other weapons, it's not quite unified. Okay. Let's see. My voice no louder than the crowd below. I watch on with ire as the stagecoach comes beneath my home. It's grand, long, and takes up the entirety of the street. The top of the stagecoach leveled with my balcony as it travels by, nearly scraping my home, when I hear a shattering of one of my pots as I turn to face where the sound came from. One of my daylilies, a deep violet flowering one, has fallen off the balcony and lands atop the stagecoach roof. Dead silence follows as my eyes widen and the stagecoach stops. More concerned about my plant than the stupid show of bravado, I leap the balcony and climb onto the roof of the stagecoach. I hear a store behind the carriage as a knight takes flight at its backside, and I hear commotion from inside. Yet ignore that. Now eyeing the knight as I quickly gather my plant. The knight hovers before me atop the roof as its Pegasus wings billow out while it remains in place above the stagecoach, causing more gusts. I can see the winds from them shaking my other plants on the balcony. Land, I yell at the knight, who looks taken aback by my defiance, not to yield before someone of his stature. He points his lance at me. Stop, Gore. What are you doing? His voice is gruff. Are you trying to assess? Why would I do that? I am trying to help my daylily. I grumble, holding the pot-shaped dot cloud to my chest, the broken pot still shadowed where it lies. My eyes still on the other plants, which are now precariously stationed on the balcony. They rock heavily as I glare at the night. I said land. More shattering as I see my plants tumble onto the stagecoach as tears well in my eyes, and the knight's brow furrows beneath his helmet. You're under arrest. Other knights have roused around me, and in a quick motion before I even know what's going on, lassos entangle me. My daylilies now being scratched against my body to the restraints. Yet a new warrior eyes. I stare down at my bindings now digging into my skin. Wait, I bear child. The knight with the lamp. Nah. Let's see. The knight with the lance lands before me, his Pegasus wings bonding to its side as he leaves it. Lance leaning against his mount, he comes forward and gathers the loose strands of the lassos, tying them around me, his face unconcerned with the news I have shared with him. Calling another knight to land before us, another man grabs me around the waist as I scream. Let me go. I see the knight before me move as incoherent words leave his mouth, and all of a sudden I can't speak anymore. Smiling, he goes back to his own mount, taking his lance in hand and points it at me. Points it at me once more as I am placed on the other man's Pegasus's back. Do well to stay quiet, Gore, lest you be in further trouble. Speaking against the king could kill you, he spits. He clicks his tongue as his own mount takes off from the stagecoach, and the knight I am with does likewise. Though we leave the convoy for the skies, as it's just us two now, and the parade carries on while I fly to the air, terrified for both myself and my unborn child. What's going to happen to us? Am I really going to be killed just for defending my livelihood? I'm not even sure how I am staying latched on to the horse's backside, where the night flies higher in the skies when I see a glint after we've left the town and are quite a ways away from Leningrad. Many large pikes and with wooden shafts materialize around the knight as he pauses, seeing the attack too late, as he's speared by them, and I am knocked off the Pegasus' backside as I fall only a short distance to be caught in the arms of my beloved and his partner who neighs cheerfully. So I want to change that. Pegasus. Yeah, I don't know if those things have a technical name or not, so They're just called Pegasuses. Ditto. So, tears in my eyes, I can't do much as we both watch the Pegasus ride off. Pegasus. We both watch the Pegasus ride back towards the parade, the night having fallen off. If the pikes didn't kill him already, the fall sure would. I stare at Caleb. We have to run. We can't stay here. He nods in silent agreement as we fly away from Leningrad, away from my home, to who knows where, to somewhere I can raise my child, and we can live free from the Legion's might. So, they flee. Now, okay, easing myself off the wooden rocker that Caleb made for me to help with tending to my unborn child, I can tell it wants to be free. The kicking has become relentless in the past few days, with contractions waking me most nights now. Caleb has gone in search for midwife, making my way to the shuttles of this once dilapidated cabin we found along the coastal region, following the river leading out of Leningrad. We've been content but surviving. In a few strides, I can make my way across the room to my usual window where I wait longingly for Caleb's safe return as I stare at the golden tips of the foliage from the trees around us, twilight dawning, reminiscing. At first I was able to help out going to the nearby village of unnamed. I forget how I wanted to pronounce that, but there you go. Not as grand as my own birthplace, but salvageable. Torchlights burn in the distance as I feel excitement, seeing the safe return of my loved one. But something's odd. A flash of insight arises as the form comes closer. It's Caleb, but he's hunched over, hobbling back with scared eyes as he leaves the forest to the small opening of our makeshift home resides. Forest to the small opening that our makeshift home resides. Rushing to the door, I open it when he shouts to me, "Run." I do. I run to him, hesitantly myself, as he glares at me. The night owl setting upon us, his lighted torch being the only thing that's casting shadows. One of his eyes, it drops, hanging there beneath his cloaked head. "Run, Olivia." I scream as I rush around his back, wanting to lead him back to the cabin, not quite understanding understanding what is going on. What is going on as he launches forward instead, a black tar-like substance frothing from his mouth as he turns to me, and it sprays as he speaks, his voice being gargled as if he's underwater. "I was cursed, Olivia. You need to run." Movements come from beneath his cloak as it starts to shed, and I unwillingly take a few steps back as many arms swing forth from his back as he lets out a howl, dreadful as if gasping for air. At the same time, he drops his torch as the fire spreads. The thought spreads to the fall leaves instantaneously, and I gaze with wide eyes as I walk back around towards as he walked back around towards his face, wanting so much for this not to be happening. He rises his face to stare at me, his lips hourly enlarging as his body seems smaller, his lips bloated, becoming blue as if he's cold and blistering, and blood falls down his cheeks. Run, they're coming. Not without you. So, not without you. I cry, rushing forward. The fire. I cry, rushing towards the fire, but instead I hear what am I saying? I cry, rushing forward, rushing towards the fire, but instead I hear what I dreaded the whole time. I cry, rushing forward towards the fire, but instead I hear what I dreaded the whole time, shouts and neighing from nights as torchlights fill the skies as if fireflies. Caleb. Okay. So I should... Yeah, and it's more of a reading than editing. But I'll definitely edit it a bit better. So let's see. He struggles to keep his head. So just want to move that a bit. So, and also this a bit. So, let's see, where was I? He struggles to keep his head up as it looks like his neck has shrunk. He has to lift his whole body towards me. Take Cody, run. His head is fusing with his body as I let out one last sob and rush for our cabin. The fire spreading through the little fall as I go around back to hear another howl from Caleb, then stomping, but as he told me, I flee. I run, getting to Rhodey, who's in a panic himself. Hush, hush, I yell at the poor Pegasus, never wanting to cause this panic in him nor myself. A contraction hits, but I fight through it as I try to lift myself onto his backside, as there is no time to get his saddle out, as I hear whistling of something coming from the darkness above. Rope then wraps itself around Rory's legs as he's trying to flee alongside me, when a streak of light shines across his neck and Rory's head flops to the ground as I scream. His body collapses on the spot and I stare beyond him. Nights now hover just above me in the dancing flames around the forest that's been engulfed. I flee. Stop, you're under arrest. Crying tears for Rhodey as I do so. Caleb, Rhodey, and I never meant any harm to come to you. I never meant to be stubborn to a knight who wielded so much power. The King's Legion, the unreasonable. Let's see. I stare down at my unborn child still within my belly. I want the best life for her, if she is a daughter, or him, to be able to live freely. But my sin is too grave as I continue to run opposite of my pursuers, through the flames and trees that burn and loom over me, smoke causing me to cough as I go, my eyes burning, my lungs literally on fire. Hot, you are under arrest, one of the lead knights shouts as I glance into the skies, but hear foot travel as the trees creak around me. They begin collapsing, my body becoming heavy. I understand too late that they're using magic on me, spells that only the knights know. slowing me to a crawl as I stumble, but catch myself trying to avoid all harm coming to my newborn. As a glowing orb of orange light twinkles from beyond the files, clear and distinct, my eyes follow it. Olivia of Leningrad. Still following the orb with my eyes, it calls to me, beckoning me to keep it in sight as I glance up to the knight that has left his mount. The same knight that I talked back to so many months ago. His lance pointed at me while others and Soba. Okay, so where was I? Still following the his lance pointing at me while others dismount and surround me. The knights that travel on foot forming a perimeter and in far less armor to allow for mobility. On my knees as the force burns around us, an arm protecting my belly, I glance towards him as the orb continues to drift beyond. None of them seem to see it, just me. The Pegasus from above begin dropping snares on me. As they then lift me to my feet, they force me to stand while knights well the knights approach me. I, Benjamin, will take you in personally. What did you do to Caleb? I shot back, staring into his eyes from under his helmet. He changed. We've done nothing to him. He fled into the woods, he tells me calmly, a smug smile on his face. I growl now. He turned into something, some disfiguring magic. I know you guys use spells. So what if we do? We're allowed to, not King's orders. He jokes as he approaches me. Palm out, he begins to chant a spell as magical circles appear over his arm and wrist, when a voice enters my mind. In astonishment, I gaze at the hovering orb that now remains high in the air, and the knight looks over his shoulder to where I am staring, then scoffs. Nothing's there, lady, he tells me, as his voice enters my mind, and I freeze, never knowing this could happen, as the outskirt of knights are using magic to prevent the fires from traveling to us. Cool winds start to flow through the forest as I feel a chill from their spells. My belly glows as Benjamin and his men now back away, dropping his guard, watching me as the baby speaks and my stomach brightens, matching the same hue orange as the orb, same orange hue as the orb. You're being cursed, a male's voice, childish echoes in the a male's voice, childish echoes in the depths of my mind. I'm being cursed, I question. Cursed, Benjamin questions as well as he's now looking around, obviously startled. I don't know who or where, but the orb my eyes have been following seems united with the baby as it drifts over to one of the knights, and I stare at him. In the back of the ranks, behind the 7 or so that surround me. Him? I again question, staring more at the orb than the man himself as Benjamin rushes over to the knight. A scream comes from one of the surrounding knights as I hear creaking, as I feel a bone crack under my skin. My skin beginning to flake as I look down on myself. Under the falling skin, white layers as some of the Pegasus drop their snare from above, no longer immobilizing me. The lead knight hears the scream as some of the mounted knights now flee in terror. More creaks and breaking of my own bones as I let out a scream. 1 second. Slight latency issues, I think. Okay, I think we're back. Okay. The lead knight hears the scream as some of the mounted knights now flee in terror. I let out a scream of pain, falling to my knees. What could be my knees? Benjamin gets to the knight that is uttering the cause and removes his helmet to reveal a very inhuman face. Eyes on stalks as they blink at him. Mimic, he drives his own lance into the body of the knight, but by now his course must have finished before upon turning to face me. My body has lengthened skyward. I feel my body twists and my arms wrap around my belly, trying to protect the child while my head tilts upward toward the dark skies and my mouth opens. My skin breaks and peels as my clothing shreds, a dark liquid oozing from my stomach. As black streaks appear as I rise my hands, staring, gawking as I change. My arms and hands becoming nothing more but bone beneath my black and white skin. The orb flies overhead, and a new voice enters my mind. While you're still aware, regurgitate him. My lips growing larger as my body becomes like a twig. I struggle to open my mouth as blood slowly pours and pours from my mouth, covering the ground around us as I slush in it. My clothing disintegrating from what remains. Benjamin remains close. Wait. I couldn't explain that better. Let's see, how do I want to explain it? Well, I don't know how to explain it, but basically all this liquid crap is going on to these knights. Okay, so Benjamin remains close, slumped over as the mixture of liquid oozing from me feels warm as a poisonous concoction spreads over the lands around me. His body begins to digest in the liquid as flesh and bones are liquefied. All the other knights flee at this as I listen to the orb, not sure how, as my mind becomes clouded due to the pain from the changes. But the orb helps me along as I feel my gut collapse, the baby that I was carrying traveling up my long body to my mouth, while my luscious lips growing as they split and turn a sickly purple color. Opening my mouth wide, I launch a flesh-like egg sac from my mouth. The knights in the air scattering, dodging it as they see it as a projectile. The orb that's been in my sight gives a longing look, at least I think it does, as it says 2 last words to me: I'm sorry. Soaring after the baby, the orb vanishes from sight as I remain here, my thoughts scrambling. Olivia, I repeat to myself through my gargled voice, I am Olivia. My body growing longer, my eyes spouting from my face, and I can see them blinking, blinking not only as I once did, but the body heat. Blinking not only as I once did, but the body heat I see the creatures around me as their heart beats and my arms stretch to catch one of the flying Pegasus and ride off. My mouth far larger than it ever was. I feel my teeth shattering, splintering into sharp teeth, spaced far apart. I bring it to my mouth, a hunger like I've never felt before consuming me, as I take in the flesh and bones of the Pegasus and the night, metal and awe. I fall forward as spikes shoot from my body, taking in all matter around me, trees and animals alike, and bring them into the juices that cover the ground around me. They dissolve near instantly. I'm Oblin, I cry as my body now acts on its own, my voice shrill and hollow. Oblin, Oblin, my hunger never ceasing, my anger towards the king now cemented. Still I leech off the trees and the wildlife and the nights that were too slow, and the nights that were too slow to flee. I rise my head towards the sky, a lone Pegasus still fleeing from without its night, and I take in a mighty breath, sucking in the beast as it struggles and chomp down hard, enjoying it. A last sane thought causes me to move as I slither, trying to locate my baby, still feeding on all that is around me while my body secretes this liquefying liquid, leaving a trail of destruction behind me. I know the baby is still a part of me, but even that craving dwindles as I call up far from what I knew to be normal, my sanity gone, and I go dormant as the sun rises on the horizon, my juices surrounding me, eating even though I slumber. And that is Path of a Monster chapter. Again, I enjoy that kind of stuff. Like I like kind of the inspiration for the next book was what was it? Like Attack on Titan, but I didn't like much how they always used different variants of humans, so I'm going a different route with the monsters, I guess. And overall, there's going to be multiple different monsters throughout the book, and it's going to be a long one. I don't know if I'm going to split it apart, like split it into different sections, or keep it all together like last fall. But that's kind of it. So like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you enjoyed, and we'll talk later or see each other later and whatnot. Have a good day and goodbye. Let's see. I think we're good.